What's going on? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's crazy out there. Y'all see what's going on in Brooklyn? Hey, yeah. Sorry, was a little bit late. Got no excuse. How y'all feeling? How's everyone doing? Uh, what's the good word? Um, yeah, the Minnesota stuff is nuts, and even white people are losing their shit right now. Um, like not even their usual losing their shit, which is um, kind of like a fake losing their shit, but like legitimately, like this isn't one of those D-Ray prayer circle type of things. Like people are turning up, man. It's a little bit crazy, but there was one by me, not far from me, and I thought it was taking place tomorrow, but it was actually taking place today, and I saw some of it. It was kind of nuts. If there's one tomorrow, I was gonna go check it out. I got a feeling there will be. I don't think it's just gonna be one. But for the people in the room, are your areas having them? Are your places having protests? Let me know. Please tell me in the chat. Like this isn't a lunch. This isn't a lunch one. So it's a Friday night one. So we have time tonight. We don't have to be in a rush, But one of the things that people are complaining about right now is they're complaining about Shaun King, and I don't really know. Um, I don't know if he's crooked or not, but one thing I will say, he definitely seems to be incompetent. That's for sure. Like there've been a lot of stories about him that have happened, and a lot of them have trouble tying down any concrete wrongdoing that he's done. Right? A lot of them have trouble tying down anything concrete that he's done, but the last one that happened, I think they were smart in not just trying to say he stole money because they can never prove it. And they make these stories, and the story comes out, and it's just a bunch of other social justice influencers who are also grifters, all saying the same thing, all saying, hey, um, Shaun King's a grifter. And I think what's kind of happening is those people are limited by their own imaginations. So all these social justice influencers that pretend to be kind of writers or journalists or whatever, they're just basically like bloggers and tweeters or long form tweeters. So they don't really want to do the work. So they just ask like five other people like them. And they also always do things to promote their friends. So they'll ask Imani Gandhi and D Ray and four other people who pretty much are grifters themselves, but just are mad that his grift is doing the best right now. And none of them will have any research, and it'll be just a Twitter thread or a blog post disguised as an article, just people saying, he's done this, he's done that, no proof. Then Shaun King will always bring out the families who will be like, Shaun King never took our money. And then, that'll be it. And then they'll all be tweeting on Twitter, oh, why can't we ever stop Shaun King? What's going on? Y'all don't listen about Shaun King. And it's like, well, because your articles fucking suck. Your articles suck, and you don't even find out what he's really done. You just try to imagine what you would do and just project your grift on him, and you don't have any imagination outside of, doing GoFundMe's for people's families and keeping the money. Because some of y'all have even been busted for that in Ferguson a while ago. But there was a recent article, I think was it Daily Beast, where the woman actually did her research. It was Daily Beast. It was Shaun King keeps raising money and questions about where it goes. And It was by this woman named Callie Holloway. And for all I know, maybe she is in bed with these D-Ray social justice influencer types, or maybe she's an objective journalist. I can't tell. But the one thing I will say is if she is one, she's one of the few ones that actually takes the time to um, do her work. She actually acts like a journalist. It's a really long piece. It's almost too long. I kind of tuned out after a while. But the piece starts out with people like Imani Gandhi. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be one of these things where they bring all their friends, and because one common thing these things also have is they also say, here are the people you should be following who aren't getting enough attention. So I saw that and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be bad. But then I read it. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read most of it, and I think it was smart because it really did its research. It talked to a lot of people, got a lot of sources, and the one thing I think was good about it is that it didn't try to overreach. It didn't try to act like it had a bunch of goods and overpromise and whatever, and then not deliver. Like, because the other ones make a lot of big claims, big bombastic claims. Then when you actually read through it with a fine tooth comb, you're like, okay, there's actually no proof here. You just kind of talk real big and scream real loud, but there's actually nothing. And what the new article just kind of basically says is, like, whether it's dishonesty or what, or grifting or what, like it stuck to his business ventures, and didn't go into. And I think that's why a lot of these other social justice influencers couldn't nail him down, because they were too lazy to actually do the research to find out what he did, and the stuff that he did do was out of the limits of their imagination. So they couldn't even since they were forced to just invent and project out of their own heads. They weren't able. The level of thing that he was doing was like he was opening up like a real business and doing all this stuff to incorporate it and to create a real media empire production. They were doing it for. He was doing it like that, and since these people don't really aspire to that level, they just kind of want to just be put up somewhere by white people and given a spot somewhere as a kind of paid mascot. I didn't think they really had the imagination to understand what he was really doing, but it seemed like he was trying to push this big media venture, and he's very good at courting celebrities and white angel investors, and he they were smart in that they didn't over accuse. They didn't say that he was deliberately grifting. They didn't say that he was trying to scam or whatever, but what they did kind of say is he exaggerates a lot and he bites off more than he can chew, because he might be a little over ambitious or a little greedy, and greedy passes level of passes level of competence, and past his, and ambitious beyond his managerial skills. So when I read it, I'm like, okay, this is verifiable stuff. We don't know if he's doing it to scam. We don't know if he's doing it for this. There's no thing about he misuses, doesn't listen to black women. There's no he isn't intersectional. Like all these kind of weird, pointless things that everyone tries to bring up and do these takedowns. They just stick to the nuts and bolts. Yes, for this amount of money, he hired this amount of people. Then he fired this amount of people, and he said he had this amount of users. He didn't have that amount of readers. His taxes said this, and I thought it was one of the better ones out of what. I like this. B. Scott said, "From this scant evidence, we believe, excuse me, that Shaun has funneled money from black vets to the Kremlin and his own pockets. White libs, please attack him." And that's really right. That's really what they really want. Yeah, this is exactly what it's like. It's like what Vice has done, and if you heard our podcast episode about Vice, we talked about how Vice is just like a giant Ponzi scheme, and they just keep. It's what influencers do. It's an influencer way of thinking. You just always promise to have eyeballs, and you always keep trying to spin off into the next venture, and I had a good analogy for what Vice does besides Ponzi scheme, but I couldn't think of it. But yeah, it's not a lot of it's not technically illegal exactly, but it's really unethical, and it's all geared toward, what it's like. It's like when you keep moving money from one credit card to another credit card and hoping that something's going to pay off, and your big hope is, don't worry, one of these things is going to hit, and once it does, I'll make back all this money and I'll do all this stuff. And sometimes it doesn't happen, like, but so he was doing a lot of that. And I was like, this is a good article because it's just not this, please, white people, stop listening to him. Listen to us. We're more intersectional. He's not intersectional. Black women and black queer people will save you, and he's not that. And these weird appeals to like morality to white liberals don't care. They're like, we just need a black face in here, and he hustles, so to me that's a better angle. Like, hey, white people, this guy's incompetent and he's gonna waste your money. I think that's a better way to do it than these weird love us instead type things they try to do. Yeah, and this is a great way to put it. The piece really painted what Shaun King is up to, and I think that's kind of the problem. These deranged types and stuff, they don't really have the imagination or ambition to even think of a grift like that. So they can only think of like what the activist version of a smash and grab is. In the streets, there are some people that just smash and grab dudes. That's just what they do. They're just stick-up guys. They're smash and grab dudes. They're always going to be in and out of jail, always doing just guerrilla scams, and getting right back up in there. And then some people have more of a light touch, they have more of a finesse, where they think of bigger things. And I think, are you talking about Shaun King? Someone said, please, Rihanna, don't listen to him. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, by the way. I know people who kind of know of him, and I can't give up their names to talk about them because they're in like media. But they were saying that when D-Ray got followed by Beyonce, he was really excited, and he was texting all of them like, "Guess what, Beyonce?" And he was like a really real groupie, and they were like, the guy told me later, he goes, "What's up with this guy? This guy's a little bit off." And he said this guy was really, really, really happy. And if you ever were following him or into him at the time, he would keep name dropping that Beyonce was following him. And then his star kind of faded, And if you notice, like, he was invited to things Beyonce was doing, but he kind of fell off a little bit. And then Rihanna was honoring Shaun King and all this stuff. And as soon as Rihanna honored Shaun King, the next day, D-Ray started beefing with Shaun King again and did a piece. And he was mad. It was so obvious he was mad that Rihanna was now fucking with Shaun King. Yeah, so I mean, so that's basically it. It was just like Beyonce doesn't return my calls anymore. He probably never had her number. But Beyonce's moved on. I'm old news, and now Rihanna. Rihanna, you should be with me. That's really what it was. Soon as that happened, when Rihanna honored him in the event, suddenly he's beefing again. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. We're not trying to hear it, Yeah, very next day, D-Ray does a piece on Medium on Shaun King, And then, sure enough, Shaun King answered everything D-Ray said, because D-Ray did no research. He's too lazy to do any research. He's not really going to do it, And all these charges were like lightweight and unprovable. They're all lightweight and unprovable. But I think this piece was pretty good. I would recommend people read it. And, a lot of people, a lot of people, like if you read Duray's piece, there's just a bunch of stuff in it and a lot of jargon. He talks about money that he raised and whatever. And it was just funny because Shaun King just easily addressed it all. It was over in no time. But then they were all mad. But the funny thing is they're all saying stuff like, oh, no one listens to us because he's a man and he has colorism, but it's black women and queer people of color who are coming at him. And it's like, no, because you're incompetent. This new piece was by a black woman, but she actually, I have to give it to her. She did her work. She did her work. It was, even if he ends up having answers for a lot of it, or like a lot of stuff he can't even answer because this just looks bad to me as far as incompetence. Even if he says, I didn't do this to lie or steal, then at the very least, you did it because you're unqualified, and that alone will hurt you with future investors. So I thought that was interesting. But what's happening is now that this Minnesota thing is like we're in this weird place now where we've made a full circle. Competence and proof are beside the point for them, because they don't even care about making real proof either. They're just doing some throw everything against the wall shit and see if it sticks. We released a new podcast episode today with Matt Christman from Chapo, and it was pretty interesting. We had Andre Dominguez too, we have Andre Dominguez as well, who has been on the stream before. So yeah, definitely check it out. That one is a pretty good one. It went all over the place. So definitely check that out. And we've been doing them every Friday now because we've been trying to have it on a regular basis now. Every Friday, instead of how we usually used to do it, which is do a bunch at once and then we disappear for a second. Oh my God. So they brought the Ray out again. Like, this is what's funny, man. Let me tell you what's funny. 2014, 2016, it's back again. And a lot of these people, they ditched their hustles. Alicia Garza, we've talked about her a lot on here, but she's been trying to be on that DNC, Democratic National Convention, grifting and let black women save you hustle. Let us be your magical Negroes hustle. And they've been doing a whole bunch of different things. Let me show you some of the stuff that they've been doing. Hold on. I'm also going to put the AC on too because it is kind of hot in here. A lot of sirens. Oh wow! My wife just told me that the protesters are on our street. That's why the sirens are crazy outside. I guess that's really interesting. If I knew, I would have tried to live stream. Yeah, so the protesters are like straight up on my street right now. Oh my God, it's crazy. So the protest has extended to my street. So I might not have to wait till tomorrow. I might just go down tonight and fuck with the protest. It sounds nuts outside my window right now. Are y'all able to hear this? Let me see. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Hold on, what's that? Oh damn, I can straight up hear the screaming. Holy shit, yeah. You know what? I might stop this one. I might just live stream instead and see what's up. I mean, I might live stream from my phone and see what's up. So, you know what? I'm going to stop this. If and then maybe I'll come back. Maybe I'll come back in a couple minutes. I want to see what's going on. And when we start back up, just follow this channel if you don't follow it. Click the bell notifications, follow us, and just keep an eye on this channel. I'll either come back from this chair or I'll be out in the streets if something's really happening. All right. So I will see y'all in a couple minutes.